Good morning, everyone. Welcome to 49ers Coast to Coast. We're your host, Cohn and Jason Aponte. It's not coast to coast today, though. Jason's in Jersey. I'm in Nashville, so it's like coast to the south. Is this the? It's the south.
Anyway. Is it? I mean, it's the East Coast.
I don't know what it is. What I've noticed is that
like
you don't hear a lot of Southern accents in Nashville. Everyone just says y'all. It's just a lot of people talking like they're from wherever, and then they just say y'all at the end. So I can do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm from Nashville, y'all. Anyway, so yesterday I got the hot chicken. It was hella good. I thought they were playing about how hot it was going to be, though, because in California, when they say hot, it's not hot. So I asked for like extra hot. That was a mistake. Killed me. Anyway, so I'm leaving with my wife, and I hear as I'm leaving, "Hey, Grant." I look behind, and it's a guy and his wife. He says, "Man, I watch you every day." I said, "Really?" He said, "Buddy, I'm watching you right now." And he takes his phone out and he has the thing out and he goes, "I know Jack, I know Jason, I know Jesse, I know the whole crew." So
wow.
that was Mitchell. Shout out Mitchell. That was really cool.
Wow, man. That's
I know
awesome.
Jason, I know Jesse, I know the whole crew. I'm watching you right now, buddy. I thought it was pretty cool. He's from South Carolina.
Yeah. That's awesome. Like, honestly, it's funny, right? Because, you know, when I go to these games and stuff, like, you know, like one of the when I went to LA for the Chargers game, right? You know, I'm walking up the stairs and I hear a guy from another section, "Yo, Jason, from Grant Cohn Show, bro." And I'm just like, what the hell? Like, it's still, it'll never get old. I think it's one of the funniest things, honestly, man. Yeah. That's awesome, though.
I'm watching you right now, buddy. I thought that was great. All right. That was tight. Okay, so the Niners, we're going to get into this game. It's a big game, and we're going to break it down in a lot of different ways. But first, the Niners had some awards, Pro Bowls. For a team that's 8-6, man, they have hella talent. 5 Pro Bowlers, 7 alternates. Let's talk about the Pro Bowlers real quick. I'd like to hear your thoughts. The Pro Bowlers are Kyle Juszczyk every year, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Nick Bosa, Trent Williams. What do you think?
I mean, 4 of those guys have a legitimate claim to being the best at their position. So, you know, that's, I mean, it's Juszczyk,
and the one that
obviously.
Does is Deebo, right?
Who's right,
the one that, yeah.
Deebo,
he's like the best player in the team. Yeah.
No, and he is, though. Like, and that's no disrespect to Deebo. He's just, I wouldn't say that he's the best receiver in the league, but you can actually say that about George Kittle, Trent Williams, Kyle Juszczyk.
Deebo doesn't have a position.
Right. Well, all right. So then there you go. Yeah. So, I mean, he's the best offensive weapon.
One. He's
the
best.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. So there you go. Yeah. Right. He's all right. So exactly. All 5 of them have a claim right there to being the best at what they do or their position. So it was pretty simple. Just took a little while for Trent Williams to get there, and it took a lot of lobbying from other people to say, why the hell are you 8th when you should obviously be first? You're the best in the world. So, but good for them, man.
It's a fan voting thing, right? And fans just don't understand about Trent Williams.
A third of it is fan voting, right? And then there's coaches and players that also have input on it. So I think once the lobbying started for Trent Williams, the fan votes went up, but the other 2 factors would have pushed him in regardless. So,
which offensive tackles did the fans like? Like who? Who are the?
Dude, I can't remember.
Who the hell named that offensive?
How do you have 7? How do you have 7 ahead of him? Right?
Yeah, anyway, do you think there were any snubs here? Do you think they should have had a 6th?
Jimmy Ward. He could absolutely be.
I thought he was gonna make it. He had that big game on Monday Night Football or whatever it was. I thought he was gonna make it.
Jimmy Ward, Tabor Pepper.
Yeah, what the hell, man? Damn, yeah, special teams matters.
Right, long snappers, man. Like, what the hell? Like, I didn't get that portion. And you know what? Next year, I'll make a bold prediction. Next year, Azeez Al-Shaair will be a Pro Bowler.
I like that. I'm surprised that he didn't get any consideration this year, but I think people don't really know who he is yet. He came on strong sort of midway through the season, although he was really good week 1, 2.
Yeah. And, well, you know, Micah Parsons, other guys are very much deserving, right? It's just that there's a lot of good linebackers in the league. But next year, with Azeez, if he's on the team and he's here, then I believe he'll be a Pro Bowler.
Okay. 5 Pro Bowlers, more than any other team in the division, which is why I think some people are very optimistic about this team and some people are a little salty about what happened earlier this season. Like, this team is way too good to be 8-6. Something was wrong along the way, but at the same time, they're peaking. The rest of the NFC is falling apart, and this just might work out. Be interesting to see. I don't know. I'm not going to pick against the Niners for a while. I'm picking them today. I'll tell you that. Spoiler. Absolutely. Tehran says, nervous going to the game. Hope I'm not bad luck. Yeah, if they lose, it's your fault. We're all going to remember that. So Be careful.
Sharon, you can't think like that, man. You can't. And a lot of people have, well, you jinxed it. You're talking. No, we're not playing. The 49ers are playing. So if they don't win, they're the reason, not you. So enjoy the game, buddy.
No, it's definitely on you, but you better bring your A game. Okay, the Niners had 7 alternates. They were Laken Tomlinson, Alex Mack, Trenton Cannon, Eric Armstead, Fred Warner, Mitch Wishnowsky, Jimmy Ward. What do you think? 7.
Alex Mack, that one kind of doesn't feel right. Laken Tomlinson has a real claim. Laken Tomlinson has a real claim to be a Pro Bowler, though.
I think it was his best year on the Niners. He was really good this year. Yeah.
Trent Cannon, that one I don't get.
Yeah, really.
I mean, I'm happy that he's recovered and everything as well. Like, I'm not trying to take a shot at him or anything like that. But
he's
it's just
good, to his credit, he's good at covering kicks as well as returning them.
Okay, so maybe that's Jimmy Ward obviously deserves to be there. Eric Armstead, that one's a little curious.
Surprising. I mean, he doesn't have numbers. Like, he doesn't put up stats, but he is a good player. I'm surprised he had that reputation.
Yeah, I think that it's name.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like he's having an impact. Like he's impacting the games without having stats, right? Like there is a way that happens. Like you pushing someone into another gap where there's another defender, right? Like that sort of thing, right?
Yes.
I know that's not what everybody likes, and that's not what's sexy, especially when you look at his contract. But I can point to that and say that's fair. Mitch Wishnowsky, come on, man.
Like someone explain to me why. What is it about him? Is it his net yard? I mean, does he have good numbers? I'm sorry. It's the knuckle punt. It's the legend of the knuckle punt.
Whatever, man. Look,
but hey, Pro Bowl alternates don't really count. Like, they don't, right? You're not really a Pro Bowler.
And it's realistically for just whatever team makes the Super Bowl, and now you can be, and then there'll be injuries, and then there'll be guys who decline going. So they just got to fill the rosters out. So, I mean, alternate, you can still be a Pro Bowler. Like, you can still put that on your resume. But I think that we all agree that Pro Bowl is not really the way to really judge players in terms of, oh, well, he's been a Pro Bowler this long. It's fan voting. There's a lot of reputation guys that get in all the time. Realistically, all pro is what you want to be as opposed to Pro Bowl.
And we're going to find out in some time who the all-pro players are. How many all-pros do you think the Niners will get? How many think they should get?
Kittle, Juice, Trent, Bosa.
4.
Debo
should be all-pro, man. I don't care what position you want to call him.
Yeah. Like Cooper Kupp will make it, and so will Devontae Adams, right? Those are 2 from the NFC. I think it has to be Debo, right? There's going to be 3 receivers, I believe, or again, make one for an offensive weapon.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Debo because his receiving numbers have gone down, but his impact has remained the same or gone up. So I'm curious to see what happens there. They better do the right thing with Debo and not act like he wasn't the best player on the Niners. Even the Niners say he's not their best player. They say Bosa is. I can see that. But Debo's right there, man. What he scores like a touchdown and a half a game. Where would they be without that?
Yeah, right. That's why he needs to be discussed in the MVP because when things weren't going well early in the season, think about where they would have been without him.
Yeah, they lost a lot of games with Nick Bosa. They would have lost they would have lost to Chicago without Debo Samuel doing that thing that he did in the third
100%.
quarter. 100%. All right, let's talk about this game. Before we get into the keys and the prediction, let's talk about who's playing, who's not. Azeez Al-Shaair. How do you pronounce his name? Is it the dude in the press box says Al-Shaair? The guy on the radio says Al-Shaair. I don't even know. Do you know?
I don't. It's like tomato, I guess.
Yeah.
At this point, and I hear people saying that. I would love for you to ask him and have him.
I would like to know because Al-Shaair sounds like the white version. To be frank, you know what I mean. But I could be wrong. It just sounds like white people saying a non-white Al-Shaair. But then I could be. I don't have no idea. I'd like to know.
Well, there's a lot of confusion, right? Sometimes
sorry, it just sounds off.
When you listen to other broadcasts, sometimes it's Brennan Ayuk, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like what?
That's
like why?
For sure wrong.
Yeah, can we get this all in line? So I would love for you to ask him. I'm gonna go with Al-Shaair, but I hope that I'm right.
Is definitely not right though. That's weak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, he's listed as questionable with the elbow injury. Any guess as to whether he plays or not, and what do you think his presence or absence would mean in this game?
I think he does play. Because he trended up from he went up right to questionable, so that kind of he's kind of moving in the right direction. And in terms of what he brings, obviously he's amazing in run stopping, but Derrick Henry's not in this game. And no disrespect to Deontay Foreman or Dontrell Hilliard, who's their running backs, they're fine. But Aziz doesn't necessarily need to be there. But if he's there, it's obviously just more ammunition for the 49ers, and they'll be able to stick to those two high looks with Ward and Tart and know that Aziz Al-Shaair is down there with Fred Warner, and they'll be able to take care of the run because the 49ers run defense has been stout. Now that we know Julio Jones and A.J. Brown are going to be playing most likely in this game, it's going to be largely on Ward and Tart to make sure that Josh Norman and Ambry Thomas are not put in any bad spots in this game and to clean things up on the back end. So having them further back in the too high look while being able to stop the run, that would be because Aziz Al-Shaair is there, and the 49ers run defense has been able to do that largely for the last few weeks.
Is A.J. Brown going to play?
I think so. Peter Schrager just got on NFL Network, and he said that he looks like he's trending to go. They have till 4 o'clock. To activate him off the IR, but it looks like he's trending in that direction. And then Julio Jones practiced in full yesterday out of nowhere. Literally, I had almost counted him out because he hurt the hamstring that he got back off of IR from. And and I'm like, the game is coming on Thursday. Like, there's no way. And all of a sudden, he just practiced in full yesterday, which means pretty much he's a go at this point.
Titans aren't messing around. Titans aren't looking past this game. You think they're good? I don't know. The AFC is competitive, and they acting like they need this one.
Well, they were one game away. If they would have won last week, they would have been the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Here's the way I look at it, man. If the Titans are rushing back Julio Jones and A.J. Brown, and they're looking at this like this is a game they need to win, and the Niners need to play Aziz Al-Shaair. He was limited all week in practice. Good enough. He's really good. He needs to play. You can't be conservative with him on December 23rd. He's got to go. You can't lose it. I mean, you can lose this game, but you shouldn't lose this game.
Right.
Win the game. You play your best players.
And matchups, matter, right? They have guys that are banged up. We'll talk about who they're missing as well, too, and how they've been playing. But at the same time, the thing that, I have the 49ers winning this game. But the thing that worries me, or at least concerns me, not worries me, right? Because I don't think that's the right word. Concerns me. Mike Vrabel's going to have this team ready to go. I'll point to the Patriots game, right? The Patriots game, they were left for dead. No running backs, no wide receivers. They played the Patriots in Foxborough all the way through, and Vrabel's going to get that from them. And he's a great coach in that way. They're very well coached. So they're not going to come out
be a
later.
lot like the Cardinals game, where just because they don't have Colt McCoy, they don't have Kyler Murray, DeAndre Hopkins, they're still a good team. I'm not saying they're well coached, but the Niners Cardinals were ready for that game. The Titans are going to be ready for this game, even though they're banged up. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
At home, trying to get that first round bye. They were sniffing that first seed. Christmas game, they're at home, they're in their town, and it's not going to be cold, and it's all right there in front of them. So I think that right now, the Titans are going to come out and give their best shot. And I wouldn't be shocked that this game is a little bit closer than people believe. I don't care what the matchups are. I mean, obviously there are ways for the 49ers to exploit those matchups, especially with their pass rush, and we'll get into all of that. Yeah. But Mike Vrabel's going to have that team ready to go. They're going to be juiced, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Titans play a really good game. On the flip side, the Titans haven't really scored 20 points, I believe, in the last 5 games or something like that. They're, the offense is pretty bad. Right now, Ryan Tannehill's warts are showing because there is no play action. There is no attention to Derrick Henry. And obviously, A.J. Brown and Julio Jones weren't playing, right? So, you have to contextualize it that way. But he's not particularly playing good football. The one thing that they do very well is when they get into the red zone, they punch it in. They're good at that. They're very good at that. So the 49ers, it's going to see. Just keep them away from the 20. Should be all right.
LZ says 3 key factors for tonight's game and final score. We'll get there in about 10 minutes. Bear with us. I'm just making you wait because I'm a jerk. Yep. Need to hit up Hard Rock Cafe while you're in town. All right, well, I'm going to be here until Saturday morning. I'm staying here. A little extended stay.
Nice.
A little extended stay. Fordman 49 says Julio Jones and A.J. Brown might play tonight. Damn. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Do you think the DBs are going to hold up tonight? Well, DBs. I don't know about the corners. I think the safeties will. Safety's been playing really well.
And I think D'Amico is doing a great job too, and I think that should be the other reason. He's been able to hide as long as he can those deficiencies at corner right now. And when you got those 2 guys on the back end, there's going to be no Hufanga in this game, so there won't be Tart coming in and off the field. Tart's going to be on the field all game, and that's great. That's good news.
Yeah, that means your best players on the field. George says, "Hey guys, I have to ask you this question: why is everyone sleeping on the Titans? They're not a bad team at all. Have a good defense. Quarterback is the only issue I see on their team.
They do have a good defense. They do have a good defense. They have a good run defense, and they have pass rushers. They have situational pass rushers, and they have a good coach. No one's sleeping on them. No one's sleeping on them. But the 49ers should absolutely win this game. They are better than the Tennessee Titans.
No, Tennessee is really having a tough time on offense, but they are good, and the Niners need to still play their best. Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm okay with 6 seed. I don't want an NFC West opponent.
Well, I mean, depends. Arizona right now is Arizonaing it up right now in December. They're Kingsburying it up, doing what they do, man. Doing what they do. Usually,
I was tweeting a lot about the Cardinals in September, October, and November. I haven't tweeted about them recently. Just like.
So DeAndre Hopkins goes away, and all of a sudden now you can't run your offense or anything like that. What happened, Kingsbury? Oh, it's December.
Oh, it's December. Oh, you lost your playmaker.
Oh, right.
I guess you're not that good. As soon as Bill Belichick said, "Oh," a lot of people were saying, asked him about being the head coach of the year, how he's a front runner. He's like, "Oh, that's so nice. I think it should be Kingsbury." It was a kiss of death. It was the kiss of death. All right. Titans have a problem though. They may get back to the receivers, but they're not going to have their left tackle Taylor Lewin. They're not going to have their left guard Roger Saffold. What do you think?
I mean, even when they were playing, that offensive line was pretty bad. Yep. I mean, their right tackle was really bad. I mean, you thought that we were nervous about Tom Compton. Titans fans hate their right tackle right now. I think he's given up 11 sacks, something like that. So now you're down to backups on an already bad line. Pass rush should feast. They should absolutely feast. And if they're not able
to, team that gave up 5 sacks to Chandler Jones week 1. Okay.
And honestly, if there is no semblance of a running game and they're knocking that off and they're in obvious passing downs, Nick Bosa is going to feast. And Arden Key is going to feast. So this is where the 49ers neutralize all of that. Obviously on the back end, you play solid. You have Ward and Tark who can help in coverage, whether it's zone, whether they start shading or bracketing A.J. Brown or Julio Jones. And if they're in obvious passing downs, then that's how you neutralize it, is you get to them on pass rush and you don't allow them to run their routes and get out there and develop. So this is where the 49ers win right here. This is where they win.
Absolutely. What's crazy is like week 3, the Packers were down to their third string left tackle, and that was pretty much the end of the analysis leading up to the game. Like, Niners going to win. You can't beat the Niners with some makeshift offensive line. And they did. And I think at that moment, I was like, who is this team? What is going? You can just neutralize Bosa with a chip. What is going? And ever since then, D'Amico's improved. That doesn't happen anymore. And now their defensive line is just swarming. There's nothing you can really do. So this is a big freaking problem for Tennessee. Big problem.
Right. And D'Amico's been really good dialing up that nickel blitz at the right times too, right? Yeah. So that's another thing. Like he's getting really good now, and I think that he's improving, and that's why matchups scare you, right? Julio Jones, A.J. Brown, but obviously the defensive backs are something, the corners are something that you need to worry about. But with the way that D'Amico's been calling games and the safeties, I'm not as worried. Like it's an issue, but it's not like this doomsday scenario.
No. The Niners use K'Wan Williams like he's Jamal Adams. Only they didn't spend 2 first-round picks on him, which is smart, I would have to say. So Titans got some problems. George says, but a lot of Niner offense need to keep the eyes open because Jimmy do like to throw to the other team, and Tennessee is a good defense.
Not lately.
Kevin Byard.
Not lately.
It's true, man. Jimmy's been doing all he can to not get benched. Got to give him credit. Okay.
Kenny Vaccaro is cashing a check for Kevin Byard that he didn't ask. You didn't see?
No.
Kenny Vaccaro sends out a tweet saying Byard is going to strap up George Kittle. Godspeed, young man. That man just put you in a spot that he didn't have to. He didn't have to say that, and now everyone heard that. And he's not good. Byard's good, but why would you put Byard in a spot where George Kittle is the hottest tight end right now, this side of the world, and you're gonna put him in a spot now? Godspeed, young man. Godspeed, and it's not your fault.
So Julio Jones is going to play. He's not even listed in the injury report. Like, he was a full go in practice. He's not probable, not questionable. He's just not injured, according to the Titans. Surprising. Seemed like hamstring's usually a 3-week injury. He's kind of older. But apparently this is the Titans Super Bowl. They are not messing around. It seems like they have no intention of giving away a home game on Thursday night in late December. I get it. So what do you think about this? Is this like decoy? Can he really move? What are we expecting here?
This hurts me the most because Julio Jones is my favorite player in the league. Sorry, guys. I like other players that don't play for the 49ers.
How dare you?
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, look, You got to pull my 49er fan card for that. And I'm pulling your 49er fan card, Grant Cohn, because you wanted George Kittle traded.
Well, I'm not a fan. I'm just here for chaos.
I'm pulling the card.
I'm just here for chaos. Yeah, I'm no longer a Niner. I lost my privileges. Damn.
That's it.
Damn.
No, but realistically, here's the thing. Obviously, Julio Jones is in a diminished state right now. Clearly, right? That's easily, you can look at it that way, and that's fine, right? I wouldn't use the W word just yet. That's a little extreme, but he's definitely diminished. Here's the thing, though. Julio Jones and A.J. Brown have not really seen the field together, and one can play off the other, right? You know, attention goes to A.J. Brown. Now you got Julio Jones. Yeah, exactly. That George Kittle is going to – oh, my God. I don't know why that guy said that. I don't know why Carlos said that. Yeah. But if Julio Jones is in a spot where, look, even in his diminished state, he finds himself in a one-on-one matchup with Ambry Thomas, you don't like that. You don't like that at all. Yeah, and that's going to be – so it's concerning. It's not like doomsday scenario, like I said. But at the same time, we don't really know the dynamic of him and A.J. Brown because they haven't had much time on the field together. Both have been injured.
Right. Now,
one can play off the other. If you start shading one way, then you can go the other way. A nice little secondary option is even diminished Julio Jones. So it's going to be up to the pass rush, and it's going to be up to DeMeco Ryans to find creative ways to disguise the coverages and keep Ryan Tannehill having to go through his progressions, because right now he's just not a good quarterback without his weapons, without Derrick Henry, and without that threat of the play action.
You know, coming into the week, I didn't think Julio or A.J. Brown were going to play at all. And I was thinking, man, I've never heard of these backup wide receivers.
Golden Tate.
Ambry Thomas is going to have a great game. But now he's going up against a future Hall of Famer who's going to be confident. And I don't know how confident Ambry is in this matchup. So, I mean, there are things that DeMeco can do to protect him, of course, and has been doing the last few weeks. But they're going to have to do that really well because you know where the ball's going.
I mean, they don't really have a tight end. Ferkser hasn't really been effective. Michael Pruitt, 49ers legend. I mean, it's realistically they're getting by as best they can at this point, and somehow they still are in position to have the number one seed somehow. Like if they win a game and someone else and the Chiefs lose, I believe, or something like that, then they can jump right back in there. So I mean, because they did beat the Chiefs, so it'll be interesting. That's going to be the matchup to watch right there.
George again says, people said we were going to win that Cardinals game and we lost. That's the only reason why I'm nervous. We seemed too confident. Yeah, we mentioned that game.
Yeah, but the thing is, all right.
Good team.
Fans, we can be whatever we want. We're not playing. We're not playing in this game. Here's the thing too. That team is not this team. I don't think you can correlate that Cardinals loss to the way this team is playing right now, the way DeMeco's calling games. Jimmy Ward and Tart are going to play in this game. The pass rush is better right now. And that was just a one-off. I don't think that you can correlate both of those things just because they were missing all of those people. That team is not this team right now. If that team with Colt McCoy right now, with the way that team has been playing, and they play the 49ers now, the 49ers will probably smash them.
I would probably agree with that.
Yeah.
I would agree. All right. Keys to the game. What do the Niners have to do to win?
Pass rush and stay away from don't let Ambry Thomas and Josh Norman get put in a position where they have to cover. That's it.
Yep.
That's realistically it. They can stop the run. This run offense is nowhere near as formidable as it was, and they can do that with holding Jimmy Ward and Tart back in two high looks, and then they don't have to bring them down.
You can do two high looks. If you have Azeez Al-Shaair playing with Fred Warner, you can stop the run with 7 in the box. Boom. Just don't play single high. Don't, because anytime Ryan Tannehill sees single high, you should just have a freaking hand sign to, dude, 9 route, dude, 9 route. I mean, I'm going to take a 3-step drop and throw it up to you. Not hard. So just, protect him.
Yeah. And I think they can do that.
I didn't mean to.
Nah, sorry. I think they can do that, though. I think they can definitely do that. And they have been doing that.
They did in Cincinnati.
They did it with Joe Mixon. And obviously last week, the Atlanta Falcons weren't exactly a model of, running the ball. So you didn't really have to worry. But they've been able to do it with Joe Mixon now. And I think they'll be able to do it, especially now. It is Deonta Foreman. That's who it is. That's not somebody that, it's not Derrick Henry.
Dude went to Texas. I know who he is, but he's not dynamic.
No.
And it's Jeremy McNichols, who was on the Niners. Was he not?
Niners legend.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty simple thing to me because it seems to me like the Titans offense should not be really scoring points, moving the ball very much. The only way they do is if they if Ambry Thomas falls apart. So Don't put it all on him. Don't put him on an island. Niners should be okay.
Here's another thing, though. Conversely, let's look at this positively. I think every Thomas is 1 or 2 plays away from the light going on, right?
Sure.
Being in position is one thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's great. But you got to make the play. Now, if he does get a PBU,
Chris Gulliver?
Right.
Yeah.
He gets a PBU, maybe a gift interception. That confidence goes up a little bit. There you go. So it's it's not exactly a doomsday thing, but there is some light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm not the highest on every Thomas. I'm just trying to look at this positively.
All right, it's a quicker show today. Yeah. I got to get to the stadium at some point.
And I got to do Christmas shopping.
Christmas shopping, exactly. This is it. Last topic of the day. Prediction. Who's going to win? Give me a score, too. I want a freaking score.
Yeah, 49ers win. They scored 31 points in this game. They've been scoring 30 every game. I don't see, where the obviously the Titans have a good situational pass rush, but if the 49ers are running the ball, Jeff Wilson is playing better and he's keeping them in front of the sticks, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4. And the way that Jimmy Garoppolo has been playing lately, I expect that to continue. Kind of expect Jimmy Garoppolo to be a main reason of why this team wins this game. Where you pick on the Titans as their secondary. Yeah, where you pick on the Titans as their secondary. Not afraid of Buster Screen. Not afraid of a few other of these guys, right? Like Byard's good.
Damn, Buster Screen.
Byard's
49ers
good.
Legend. 49ers legend. Yeah.
Byard's good. He's very good. And I think that he
Yeah.
never gets talked about. But everywhere else in that secondary, one safety is not going to change the way that secondary is. Pick on them there. Go make sure that George Kittle has a big game because they're talking crazy about him. But I think Jimmy Garoppolo is going to have a good game throwing the ball, man. And I think that what that means is 260, 275, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers, no throws. And I think the 49ers still scored 30. So I'll say 31-16, 31-17.
Okay. I think the Niners are going to win. I'm going to have a lower scoring game. I'm going to say 23-13 Niners. I think the Niners defense is going to really suffocate this Titans offense, even with these wide receivers back, because of the 2 offensive linemen who are out. I think Nick Bosa, Arden Key are going to dominate. But then I think the Niners offense is going to struggle a little bit on a short week against a good defense. I could be wrong. I mean, 23 points isn't bad, but I think they're going to have a little bit lower output than they've shown the last few weeks because of Jeffrey Simmons and Bud Dupree and, I don't know, Harold Landry. We'll see. But if they get 31, that'd be impressive. I'm going to say 23-13.
No, Grant. Jimmy's rolling. That's it. It just continues. You just keep getting rolled on.
No, Jimmy's the best. I say 40. 40-10.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Boom.
Jimmy. I'm just hoping we get good Jimmy tonight. If that happens, we will win 37-26. If that does not happen, we will lose the opposite number. Dude, George is on it.
Jimmy's been good, though.
He has been good. Stop hating on – George wasn't hating on him. Khatib Zarif says, Niners versus Titans, Warriors versus Grizzly. Tennessee taking 2 L's today. Let's go, Cali. Who knew?
Wait a minute. Memphis? Oh, yeah. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mo Dollars. Who's got Mo Dollars says, Senators, this isn't game-related, but I think winning a Super Bowl with Brad Johnson has had an effect on Lynch's vision for the team. Maybe the dynamic quarterback was never in his interest to begin with. I've thought of that, by the way. Like, who has Lynch played with in his career? He played with Dilfer and Brad Johnson. Those were the 2 quarterbacks he played with in Tampa. Am I wrong on that one? I think it was Dilfer and Brad Johnson, maybe.
Dilfer,
Sean King at the
Brad
end.
Johnson, Sean King, right? Yeah. But here's the thing, though. They won that Super Bowl because that was like an all-time defense. There's like 9 Hall of Famers that were on it. The guy who won Super Bowl MVP was probably the worst one out of all of them, Dexter Jackson.
That's true.
It was it was Lynch, Simeon Rice, Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber.
I'm just saying the thought has crossed my mind too. That's all I'm saying. I have no idea, but it's crossed my mind. Brad Johnson. He won a lot of games too. Wasn't quite. I mean, he wasn't. He's all right.
Yeah, but remember also too, because Gruden's a fraud, right? Like obviously that defense, because the thing that nobody really remembers is not Levy Smith. What's his name? He's on NBC now. Tony Dungy was the coach before Gruden, right? But the secret that nobody remembers is that the offense actually scored more points with Tony Dungy than it did with Gruden, right? Yeah. And then if you remember that Super Bowl, Callahan, I believe, was the coach after him. His dumbass didn't change any of the calls. No. So they were sitting there like literally Gruden's like, dude, they're running this. And they didn't change anything. And that's, they were, and it was just, it was too easy. So Gruden's a fraud, man.
Oh, yeah. Bit of fraud. Still a fraud. Anyway, smoking that Gruden pack, smoking that James Franco pack. I don't know where that came from. Sorry, James. I tried to tell people about James years ago. Now people be like, I'm so surprised at this guy. No, he was doing this 2006. Anyway, check the record. I was talking about it. Jason.
What the hell, Grit?
Thanks, everyone. I'll be back. See you at the game.
Happy holidays. Enjoy the game.
Happy holidays.